All right, guys, what's going on? Today is Thursday, which means we have a date. Legal digital date. So I greet everyone who is also on the stream, be it on YouTube, be it on LinkedIn, or other platforms. So guys, get comfortable. We're going to discuss a very important topic today. Also, those who watch it offline after it's finished, also greetings to you guys. So let's see first if we have any questions or comments from you, because you guys know I like to address those in the beginning. And while you are thinking or typing your questions, let's discuss the past week approvals. So we got a lot of O1 visas this time around. So let's see. We just got a fresh O1 approval for business developer, Dmitry. He's from Russia. We got him 5 criteria: press, judging the work of others, scientific publications, critical role, and commercial success. Guys, you cannot have more standard petition than this. Okay, you have to judging involvement, engagements. You have 1 or 2 critical roles. You make good money. You have a couple of articles about you, and you draft a couple of scientific articles. Okay, that's all. That's all what it takes to get O1 approved. You guys know, if you follow me closely, that this visa is one of the best. One of the best. Okay? Even if you don't think you're a talented person. Even if you think that there is no way you can get approved for O1, if you think you don't have an employer, if you can get an advisory opinion letter, whatever is behind your thinking, you're probably wrong. Okay? You're probably wrong. I was able to get O1 visas approved from 0 to hero within 6 months. Okay, and it doesn't mean those are fake petitions. Just to make it clear, right? So you, oh my God, you painted, you faked it. No. Everybody has the foundation for O1. You just need to build on it. First, you need to recognize that foundation exists. By the way, guys, any one of you read Foundation by Isaac Asimov? If you guys like science fiction, you have to read this. Okay? This is the best ever. Okay? Foundation. There's a series of these books. Really good. Okay? So recognize the foundation and build on it. Okay? What is the foundation for O1 visa? Critical role or leading role, and commercial success, especially if you're a business person or IT person. Okay, probably 80 to 90% of my O visas for 2 categories: business and IT. Okay, so that's the, and of course there's sport, there's art, this, and bloggers and marketing and this and that. Yes, we have them, but up to 90% business and IT. Okay, startup businesses and IT people. So okay, Dmitry is from Russia. The second O1, Tatiana, she's also from Russia, and she is an expert in a dental business. Okay, so she's a businesswoman who built the dentistry business, right? So make sure, guys, you differentiate between the nature of the business and being professional in that, and to own and run that business. So if you are a dentist, that's one category of O1. If you're the business owner of the dentistry, but you're not the one who drilling and pulling and cleaning and all this craziness, you go in the business category. Okay, so Tatiana is on the second option. Okay, the third O1 for Sergey, he's from Ukraine, by the way, today's topic, and he's a businessman. Okay, he got 7 criteria. Okay, he didn't get only associations, one of the hardest ones to prove. The fourth O1 is the Natalia, who's actually with that lady, the business owner of the dentistry, Tatiana. So Natalia is the employee of Tatiana, who owns the business. So both of them got the O1 visas. And actually, the approval that we got today for the CEO of that same company, all right, Alexei, they all from the same company. So 3 O1s, okay, for one company. 2 additional ones, and let me see. Okay, yes, so 5 O1s, guys, 5 O1. There was a week of O1 visas. All right, good. So let's see what you guys get to say. Darwin, congrats on approvals. Thank you, Darwin. When applying for O1, EB1, EB2, we claim 5 criteria. After a decision, do we know which criteria were accepted and which were struck down? Okay, so good question, Darwin. So, and let me correct you a little bit. Let me comment actually. For O1, I want 5 criteria. For EB1, I want 6. Okay, and sometimes you could see that I talk about the cases with EB1 like for 5 criteria and O1 like one of those cases with 7 criteria, right? So it's never the same case, but you know there's a standard which I like to use. So 5 for O1, 6 for EB1A, and EB2 is a little bit different. Of course, we're talking about EB2 and IW. We have like, depends on how you count, 3 to 6 criteria, which we need to prove all of them, right? So the only way, Darwin, to know which criteria was admitted, which were rejected, is to get the RFE. Okay, so it's always a bittersweet feeling, because when you get an RFE, it's not an approval. It's the second shot at the case. But you know which criteria were satisfied. Okay? That's why, guys, it's so important to work with the attorney who specializes in whatever. Right? Because immigration field, it's insane. Guys, I have this book. It's in my office in Miami. One of I think the top immigration attorney of all times, including today. And you guys like, okay, he's gonna say that's Stanislav, right? No, I don't. I think I'm a great attorney, but I'm not the top. I'm number 1. I'm not there yet. Okay, we're going there. But the top immigration attorney is Ira Kurzban. Guys, Google him. Ira Kurzban. He's the top of the top. He has, I know him personally. I've been to his office a couple of times and I spoke to him in numerous conferences. He has this book on immigration, which is revised every like year or 2 years because things change. Guys, it's this thick. That's on immigration field. And for your understanding, EB1A section in this book is 3 pages. The most. 3 pages. I can write a book on only on EB1A for 500 pages. Okay? If I sit down, I can write a book for 500 pages. So imagine each section in this book of all immigration things, like 2, 3, from half a page up to 10, the most intensive thing in the immigration. So imagine how many topics. So that's why you cannot work on talent visa, asylum, deportation, immigration court, the family petition with immigration attorney. You cannot do this. What you have to do is to work with immigration attorney who specializes in talent visa, in work visa, in H-1B visa, in asylum case, in deportation cases, in all that. Okay, why? Because of this question, Darwin. Because of your question. The only way to know how you approach and the methodology behind you building the evidentiary base for your case is to get as many RFEs as possible. And I know it may be sounding a little bit cynical towards a client who is a part of this RFE, right? Because a client, and we want to get an approval. But again, it's a bittersweet feeling, right? Bitter because it's not approval, but you still get the second chance. And sweet because you know which criteria, which evidentiary base for which criteria is enough for this type of visa. So guys, think of it for a second. I practiced law in my company for almost 10 years. So at some point, we collected all RFEs for my career, which I cannot say were a lot, okay? If to be completely honest with you. So that information, what makes you a strong attorney who specializes in certain things, by bits and pieces of those RFEs, you get all this information together to understand what exactly the immigration officer wants from those criteria. Okay? So, and only working probably for at least 7 years, practicing extensively, you can get to a certain level, right? So 10 years is the next landmark. Probably 15 is the next one, 15 to 20. And that's the final boss, right? So that's where we stand with this. That's where we stand. Okay, Mike. Oh, I'm also in the dentistry business. There we go, Mike. You know, I'll tell you, Mike. This year and end of 2023 were very extensive on dentistry industry. As of right now, we get probably about, I would say, 15 dental related cases going at the same time. And we're getting the approvals from those cases that started the beginning of the year, the end of the prior year, and things like that. For EB2 and AW, for EB1, for O1, and things like that. It's just, it's like it was a wave of dentists. So we got a lot of experience in that, in the dentistry. So I love dentist cases because, you can always relate, right, guys? All of us at some point of our lives went to a dentist, all right? And someone had a problem with the dentist, right? So, that's something you can relate, and that's something the immigration officer can relate. So we want good dentists in the US, so we don't have those problems. Okay, I had a question. I got a PR agency to write articles for me in a good outlet, but the articles are the article has no author. It says by staff, is that considered by USCIS for O1, the media is by big CO weekly. Mike, not gonna fly. Trust me. Maybe it all depends. If you have other criteria which are good, okay, that's still gonna come in. You're gonna get approved, but those articles definitely not gonna work for EB1A, 100%. Trust me on that. I tried so many things. Okay, I tried so many ways and approaches to prove that there is an author when it doesn't say explicitly, and the letters from editors, and a letter from the newspaper, and the letter from the author who wrote that article, but for some reason those magazine, journals, websites, it's not in their nature to put that name in there. Nothing works. Why? And I explain why nothing works. Because the law on the books is clear. There must be 3 things in the article: the title, the date, and the name of the author. That's it. So it's black and white. It's a federal law. So no author doesn't come in. All right. So again, O1 is much lower on the way of evidentiary base. But because, Mike, you are doing O1 with the idea, or at least I think that's the best approach, with the idea to then file for EB1A sometime in the future, you must allocate your resources wisely. Okay? Yes, you're gonna get O1 visa, you're gonna spend, I don't know, $5, $6, $7, $8,000 to improve your case. But imagine it doesn't work for the EB1A. So then again, you have to spend another 10 or 12 on top of what you spent. So that's not the way. I think that's not the way. And again, it's not my money to count, but I always worry about the efficiency and effectiveness of the cases. And the best approach for the client to not only get the benefit right now, but set up for the future benefit. All right? So if it's possible, redo those. Or add the author. Canon. I have a 1 not stamped, just status for 2 years. Okay. Now got my EB2 and a W PhD, but green card is due another 3 months. I have to go to my home country for 2 months. Once my green card arrives, can my cousin hand carry it to me? And there's a follow-up, and I can re-travel to the US on green card rather than getting O1 stamp from my NVC. So it's not NVC, it's an embassy. I would call it that. Okay, Kenan. So I don't have enough information to give you the affirmative answer, but if you let me make an assumption in your question. So when you say the green card is due another 3 months, I believe you want to say that your priority date is coming up in 3 months. Okay? So you have 2 options. If that's the case, you have 2 options. Option number 1, you wait 3 months in the US. You file adjustment of status for 85 and for work permit and advance parole. And you wait for your advance parole to arrive or your green card, and then you travel. If you do this, but you leave the country before your advance parole or a green card, before they are approved, and even though they can ship it or send it to you technically, that's it. Once you left the country before those, you abandoned your 485. It doesn't mean you lost your case. No, you abandoned 485. So you will not be able to get your green card in the US outside through that procedure. You still can start your process through the NVC and then through the embassy and get that your green card probably in 9 to 12 months after that. Okay? So that was option number one. The option number two, you go outside, stamp your O1, come back when you have to, and then file for adjustment of status. Okay, that's option number two. Option number three, you leave the country without filing for 85 and start the process with NVC. And again, if in 3 months you start the process, and I do believe you already have the S260 filed with NVC, so once the priority date is current, they send the case to your embassy, and probably within the next 6 months, you're gonna get the interview in the embassy. Okay, so you have a bunch of options, but you need to understand the consequence of each one. I'm a firm believer. If you had to ask me, Stanislav, how would you do this? Unless it's life and death reason to leave the country, and it could be your life or death, or your close relative. Okay, unless raises to this level of seriousness, I wouldn't leave. I would file for 85 in 3 months as soon as it's available. I would wait either for my advance parole or my green card and only then leave. I think this is the best approach. And Darren says, nice, nice. Darren, to add further, let's say we have 5 criteria for O1 and 3 are strong. Will we get the visa, and let's say 4th is weak, or will the officer send RFE for 4th needs evidence? No. If he accepts 3 strong criteria, he's gonna approve it. Fahaj says, hey yo, Stanislav, what's going on? Hello, Fahaj. For EB2 and AW, I don't want to do premium, but will my priority date start from the date of filing? Yes. Or date of I-40 approval? No. Which would be after 6 months. Well, it could be anywhere. I do not recommend non-premium processing. I do not recommend, and I always push my clients to file premium, because you can those 6 months and maybe up to a year, maybe more, could be wasted if you get the officer from the blacklist who doesn't like your petition, no matter what's in it, and we need to refile. So imagine the damage of losing that year or 6 months. That's a lot. I don't think it's worth that additional $2,800. It's still a lot of money, but it's not worth it. Okay, so I don't think it's the best approach. But again, the last time I filed EB2 and IW without premium processing was March of this year. It got approved in the beginning of August. Okay, so about 5-6 months. And the endeavor was smart houses. Okay, implementing smart houses. Really good case. So yeah, but technically, Fahaj, yes, you filed today, your EB2 and IW. Let's say in 6 months it's approved. Then you have your priority date as of today. Okay, so it's true. It's true. Kenan says, yes, very well answered. Thank you so much. My pleasure, Kenan. My pleasure. Hope it helps you to find the best approach, and good luck to you. Okay, guys, give me more questions. We're going really good. We're already 26 minutes in the stream. So let's talk. And I know And I'm not sure. I don't see any Ukrainian names here. Okay, you guys saw like Indians and Irish and British and Lord knows where you're from, right? Pakistan. So I don't think there are Ukrainians here. But it doesn't matter. Okay? The tech talents does not matter. The tech talents don't care about nationality. So yes, I'm gonna attach it to Ukrainians because you guys know what's happening between Russia and Ukraine. All this craziness. This is the terrible thing. The war is never good. We can be peaceful and resolve our problems in other ways. So a lot of Ukrainians came to the US, about 200,000, I wanted to say dollars, 200,000 people from Ukraine as refugees in the US on U4U, Uniting for Ukraine, and TPS, Temporary Protected Status, so they waiting here. And a lot of them already becoming Americans. And you guys know the main reason why you want to choose the US among other countries where you could immigrate. There's one biggest reason. The USA is the only country in the universe we yet get to travel interplanetary. So maybe there is something different there. But as we know, it's the only country in the universe that will give you the opportunity and option to become an American in the first generation. You got it? The only country that will give you the right and option and opportunity to become an American in the first generation. So you will become an American, not your kids, absolutely. Your great, everybody else, of course. But no other country in the world, there is no such a country, that will allow you to become Canadian, Australian, German, Turkish, Russian, French, Spanish, you name it. There is no such a country. And some countries will not let your kids become the real national of that country. And yet, some countries, like Russia, for example, my home country, if you're not white, if you don't have light hair, you will never, and your kids will never become Russians. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. At this point. Maybe something will change in the future. Same with France. Same with Germany. Same with Switzerland. Same with Austria and many other countries. Never ever, if you're not white and you're not light haired, it's not gonna happen. Okay? It's sad. It's very sad. You know, I'm not saying it with pride or something. I hate it. You know, I don't believe in this. But that's the reality. Okay? So guys, when you're choosing the country you want to come, and I know some of you, okay, Canada has a good programs for engineers, for IT, and Australia is really welcoming, and New Zealand, yes. But there is a little difficulty. There's a little obstacle that you need to get over. And of course, like Australia, Canada, New Zealand, those are better than France and Germany and Spain and Portugal and whatever, and Russia. But still, doesn't get to the level of the US. So you need to keep that on the back of your mind. And especially if you have brown skin, yellow skin, dark curly hair, all this stuff, because that's what your kids are gonna have, right? And again, I'm being realistic. No way in a race, no, I'm not like that. I'm just realistic. So in the US, you and your kids are gonna be Americans, regardless of the colors and whatever. In other countries, not. Okay, so I think I made my point pretty clear. All right, so guys, sometimes we get philosophical, right? And we have to. We have to. Immigrating to the US has a strong philosophical foundation, very strong. So we need to think about those things as well. All right, Fahaj, on I-140, there is a question called, do you currently employ total of 25 or fewer full-time employees? Maybe. Fahaj, I'll be honest with you. I have not, I, filling out I-140 and 485 is not my task. Okay, so if you work with my company, I will not be the one doing that work. Okay, that's not attorney's work. Attorney's work is the strategy, is the final documents, your memorandum, and strategy in your case just overall. That's what I do when I work on your cases, guys. I don't work with your initial documents, with checking on the first level if it's right or wrong, if it's I have a question for Stanislav. No, you're working with my team. I'm making sure that your case is moving on by deadlines by my strategy. Okay, so I could take them a month to draft your memorandum at the end of your case. So I can't remember 25 or fewer full-time employees. I would assume that this question goes towards EB2, EB3. Okay, EB2, EB3. That's where it could make sense, because 25 employees is critical for some federal laws, anti-discrimination laws. Okay, so unless they know that you have 25 employees working in your company, they may have it differently. They may say it differently. Okay, and guys, when you see me talking to the side, like as if there's a person there, that's my little daughter in my home office, just coming up to the doors of my office and just looking at me. So I'm telling her that, and she loves it. She's like, she's 1 year old. She loves it. So, I entertain you and her at the same time. So yeah, that's where 25 could come in. But I might take a look and see, maybe there is something else behind it. A file. So Fahaj wants to clarify something. So let's take a look. So yeah. So yes, about the priority dates. So if you file your I-140 without premium on September 1st, and you get approved March 1st, 2025, your priority date will be September 2024. September 1st, 2024. Okay. And Darwin says, you love US a lot. Yes, guys, this country gave me so much. Okay. This country gave me everything, actually. Not so much. Everything. Okay? And let me give you a few highlights so you understand. First of all, and I'll be perfectly honest